Okay, I see the people, well, almost reaching 30 people in the session. I think we are ready to begin. So, good morning and good afternoon, everyone, to all our colleagues who are joining us from Latin America, North America, and Europe. My name is Edgardo Sara. I'm the Deputy Team Leader for IRC Latin America, and I would like to welcome you to the parallel session focusing on the thematic network, innovating, sustainable, or carbon neutral ecosystem and strategic sectors. As IRC Latin America, we are proud to be hosting this session. It's an important goal for the program to foster synergies not only between cities and regions within our program, but also with cities and key stakeholders from other geographical areas. For our colleagues who are joining us from outside the RUC Latin American network, our program has a total of 24 cities and 20 regions from 6 countries in Latin America and counterparts from several countries in Europe, including Italy, Spain, Poland, Sweden, Finland, Romania, Hungary, Portugal, Greece, and Germany. In Latin America, the program is implemented in 6 countries: in Argentina, Brazil, Colombia, Chile, Mexico, and Peru. In our session today, we seek to identify learning opportunities and synergies between cities and regions in order to foster collaboration through thematic clusters on smart strategies and innovation. In this regard, we'll have the opportunity to hear from one Latin American city, Mar del Plata, and 2 European regions, Silesia and Cantabria, about their experience in promoting innovation and new emerging sectors. With policies aimed at improving education, entrepreneurship, and technological districts. This policy has also had the goal of fostering the involvement of the youth and the private sector in up-and-coming knowledge economics. But their experience is not without challenges, as we will see during the presentation, as they are occurring in a context of global economic deceleration and uncertainty due to COVID-19 and depopulation and job loss in rural areas. Today, we're also very fortunate to have 3 senior speakers with vast experience in public policy formulation, innovation strategies, and public-private partnerships. First, we have Mr. Santiago Bonifati, who is the General Secretary for the Municipality of General Pueyrredón in Mar del Plata, Argentina, who will present an overview of Mar del Plata's effort to promote a knowledge economy and a new technological district with the potential of becoming one of the most important technological parks in Argentina. Secondly, we have Mrs. Paz Diaz Nieto, the General Director of European Funds for the region of Cantabria in Spain, who will be presenting their experience in implementing their economic social strategy and how they have been able to promote entrepreneurship and social innovation at the local and regional level. Finally, we have Mrs. Monica Tak, Manager of Regional Innovation of the Strategy Department for the region of Silesia in Poland, who will present about Silesia's experience in public and private collaboration to promote emerging sectors such as their network of specialized observatories and their policies to support new startups in a post-industrial context. I'm joined in the moderation by Mr. Esteban Pelayos, who is the Director of EURADA, the European Association of Development Agencies, which facilitates cooperation among regional economic development practitioners from 23 countries and have a permanent dialogue with the European Union institutions. Each presenter will have about 12 minutes to present. After the presentations are finished, we will engage in a roundtable discussion lasting about 20 minutes, where we will also answer some questions from the public made through the chat. For the audience that follow us, please, it's important to remember that we have, again, simultaneous translation in English, Spanish, and Portuguese, but you must have installed the interaction application on your phone or access it through your browser. You can see the instructions on the screen now. And having said that, again, I will like to thank our panelists for being here with us today. My colleague Sandra Marin, who's also helping us who will be present during the end of the session today. Will we have an interactive segment? Will we use a survey called Slido? You will give the instructions afterwards. Having said that, I would like to give the floor to Mr. Santiago Bonifati, the General Secretary of the Municipality of General Pueyrredón. Santiago, please, the floor is yours.
Okay, Edgardo, thank you. Hello, everybody. Hello, good morning, good afternoon. Sandra is going to share my presentation. So let me tell you a few things about Mar del Plata. Mar del Plata is the main tourist and seaside resort in Argentina, lies on the Atlantic Ocean, only 400 kilometers from Buenos Aires, its capital city. Our stable population amount is like 650,000 inhabitants, but we have over 800,000 visitors arrive per year, which turn the city into one of the main Argentinian tourist destinations. So we have a lot of things happening in this time of the year. Next, please. Well, I'm going to tell you a few things about the knowledge city or the strategic plan that we made. The industrial district focused on the development of the knowledge economy industry. The final objective is to take the local technology area to a higher level and to lead the industry's digital transformation. In addition, this new venture will join companies and entrepreneurs with the knowledge economy, the education, and the scientific technology area. Next. The strategic plan is the result of work carried out jointly and collaboratively with different referents in the area, the academy and the science and technological institution of the city, with which we elaborate and implement a series of programs and actions to first, encourage the creation and development of technologically-based enterprises and entrepreneurs, link knowledge companies with the entire local industry to promote the incorporation of technology in their commercial and productive process, making them more efficient and competitive, improving productivity, making process more flexible, generating new business, and creating quality employment. This is really important for Latin American cities. Develop activities aimed at raising the vocation for technological creation in young people, showing them the opportunities that offer and encouraging them to study related courses to cover the high labor demand of this industry. And finally, build ownership in the society of Mar del Plata as the city of knowledge. Next, please. As the plan was developing, the Technological District of Knowledge and Innovation was created in a founding neighborhood of the city, where the establishment of companies connected with knowledge is encouraged through the granting of a set of credit facilities and benefits. In addition, it generates public and private investment, revitalizing this important area of the city. Next. The Technological District boosts current technology companies, promote the development and establishment of new companies, the boosting the knowledge economy industry, generates new quality, highly paid jobs, more competitiveness to the local industry, positions the local technology sector, encourage young people to become creators of technology. It represents the lighthouse of innovation, symbol of the new productive model of the city. So, next, resilience and digital transformation program, the modernization municipal office. In the context of the pandemic SARS-CoV, the municipality of General Pueyrredón had to face a known challenge which involved a change of paradigm to solve particular situations. I think we share these situations. A high dependence on face-to-face citizens procedures that were carried out in the municipality, lack of strategic lines for paper-free or paperless orientated to the citizen, as well as administration relation to their own employees, and weak coordination among the different agendas of government areas. Next. So we set four goals or objectives. Objective number one, much has been discussed about the incorporation of technology in the local public administration, the strengthening of public-private alliances, citizen participation mechanism, and strengthening of bureaucracies, all elements orientated to good governance. The challenge now is how to achieve the interaction of all these elements in an effective and efficient way. And this is where a central element arises, the organization culture of public administration. Next one. Objective number two, there is no technological tool, innovate policy, or possible if the people involved in the public policies process and decision makers do not own this process. These actors are a fundamental part of their constructions if they perceive themselves as agents of change. Here we have a first approach to the problem. If any proposed initiative is not treated as part of the organizational culture, it will hardly achieve the expected results. Objective number three, there is another element connected to the incorporation of technology. On one hand, our fragile economic situation prevents us from thinking about large investment projects in the field of technology. Therefore, promoting public-private collaboration becomes an ideal tool to solve this situation. On the other hand, there is an element of this association that must be taken into account, the dynamic of citizens' demands. This approach expresses that far from the universal products technology companies develop, we move forward to a dynamic model where the solution they offer is feedback from citizens' dynamic demands, and the state, company, citizen link is strengthened. This view of the problem forced us, in the pandemic context, to promote this strategy as a priority and implement a solution based on digital resilience. So the fourth objective is that the program implementation implied strengthening the articulation among different government areas, promoting paperless, maintaining the level and quality of service to the citizen, avoiding people circulation, and meeting the demands of the municipal health system in a context of permanent change as a result of, of the advance of SARS-CoV-19 in our territory. And it was organized through of action. One, the remote service to citizens. Two, support from the government's office and health and security. And three, management of public employees. So to finish, I would like to say that technology per se is not a solution. It's a tool that, from a state logic, shows its potential when becoming dynamic. The strategic alliance with local government actors and working on the organizational culture are essential in order to keep all those involved engaged, to reduce changing resistance, and to break the myth that actions cannot be changed because they were always done that way. I think we all hear that phrase maybe 100 times when you are inside this kind of organization. It's difficult to think of the state today as an omnipresent actor with the capacity to respond to all demands at all times. It's here where
we lost Santiago.
Thank you very much. Yes,
Thank you, Santiago. I think
I was
we believe we
finishing.
lost you for just 5 seconds at the end, but it's fine. Thank
Okay,
you for your
thank you very much.
presentation.
Muchas gracias a todos.
Gracias a ti,
Santiago,
Santiago.
you've been great. I'm sorry because I'm a disaster passing slide. I have to recognize. I apologize in advance. I'm in the other side normally, and I think I was changing in a different position. Anyway, you have to forgive me. Okay, I keep
No
on
That's fine. Thank you, Santiago, for the presentation and highlighting two facts. First, about the importance of changing the culture at the organizational level in order to make changes for public administration and in public policy formulation. So, if there is something that we need to highlight from your presentation, is the importance of organizational change. Also, the importance of public and private collaboration, that the public sector cannot work on their own as a single entity for public policy formulation. It requires collaboration with the private sector. So thank you, Bonifacio. Santiago. We will continue with the presentation of Cantabria from Mrs. Paz Diaz Nieto, who is the General Director of European Funds for the Government of Cantabria in Spain. Please, Paz, the floor is all yours.
Thank you, Edgardo, for inviting me to share with you and all this audience about our regions, the main ideas and the projects that we are developing here in Cantabria. If you don't mind, Sandra, I will ask you to start. Thank you. First of all, let me to have an overview about our region, Cantabria. We are located in the north of Spain. We are the second smallest region in Spain, and we are better known to be the place where the Santander Bank is located. So that's why we have different approaches to this vision. We are, as I said before, we are a small region, less than 600,000 inhabitants, and of course our economy should be adapted to this size. We are, surrounded for important regions such as Basque Country that is much better known that we are in the European context or international level. So we need to adapt to this challenge. Go ahead, please, Sandra. We are located, as I said before, in the north of Spain, and of course we go ahead, please. Here we are integrated by 102 municipalities. We are small regions, but with a large number of municipalities involved. So these are for us, one of the main concerns and problems in terms of how to implement different public policies in our small territory. We first collaborate with a URC program 2 years ago in a pairing program with Chihuahua in Mexico, and in that period, in this first approach, we decided to collaborate in different main topics or sectors. Such as you can see here in this slide. For us, we have our GDP is integrated by the industrial sector. 22% of our GDP is integrated for this industrial sector, and our main topics are trade, manufacturing, health, and well-being. Of course, we are trying to develop new interests in this new context, this new pandemic context, and considering, of course, the arrival of this new European fund to find other topics or sectors to implement our new public policies. At the very beginning, for instance, we thought that entrepreneurship could be a good idea to develop opportunities in our territory. As I said before, we are a small region, but we are suffering different problems. For instance, the population, lack of opportunities for young generations, and sometimes they are forced to emigrate to other regions or other countries in Europe. So we needed to find a specific sector to develop the opportunities in the territory. And we needed to implement a new approach to this to the implementation of this new economic model. We needed to consider the needs of the territory and to implement, for instance, a bottom-up approach. That's why for us it was important to talk about social economy vision. For us, for instance, we have been working during the last years in different initiatives regarding entrepreneurship, innovation, etc. But in some cases, this approach was equal in the whole territory, and we did not consider, for instance, the needs of the territory. We don't have the same needs, for instance, in the west part of our region, in the internal part, or in the coast area. That's why, in collaboration with our local entities and local agencies, local development agencies, we have developed this new approach regarding, social economic vision. For us, the role of entrepreneurship and innovation will be a key element, and many companies based on technological tools, etc., have been created. But we need to consider this new approach and working together with new stakeholders to implement this new, to facilitate the transformation to this new economic model. Go ahead, Sandra, please. Why a partnership with Chihuahua? As I said before, 2 years ago, we were working on different sectors. Right now, we are looking for a new approach just to balance with this new idea that we already have for the implementation of the next generation funds. And we are looking for a new relationship based on innovation, entrepreneurship, and of course, digitalization. And for us, the key element will be education and capacity building. It is very important to create a network of regional stakeholders able to face the new challenges. And for us, the main thing is how to implement new skills in young generations, how to transform all these job seekers that have already lost their jobs and they need to be reintegrated to the labor market, how to create new skills for them. And that's why for us, education and capacity building is the key element and will be one of the main elements of pairing with Chihuahua. Go ahead, please. Yeah, at this moment, we are defining at the regional level the new operational programs in terms of ERDF and, of course, social European funds. And as I said before, education and generation of new skills based on digitalization, entrepreneurship, open innovation, and social economy will be the elements to be included into these new operational programs. Different initiatives will be in the next years regarding these 4 topics, and we want to share this experience with Chihuahua because we already know that they already have different experiences implemented in Chihuahua State that could be interesting also for us. Our main purpose here is to create a dynamic ecosystem. We found that we already have different local agencies, for instance, and many of them have a lack of energy or dynamism to face the new challenges. And we learned from Chihuahua in the last 2 years that they have been implemented new experiences together with their regional stakeholders that could be interesting to be transferred to our region. That's why we are thinking to develop this new, pairing model with them in order to transfer these experiences. Go ahead, please. And why social ecosystem? Well, right now we are coordinating different European projects, which the main focus is social economy. For us, it's a new approach to innovation, a new approach also for entrepreneurship. Traditionally, we think that is more focused on how to implement new technological tools, and we forget that in some territories we need to consider the needs of our the needs of civil society, especially young generations. We are aware that, for instance, in our region, the west side of Cantabria, maybe they don't need the same interest or they don't need the same technical assistance than those located in other areas. So that's why we need to create specific programs for them in order to give give us answer to their specific needs. And that's why we are defining a new model of social economy. And that's why we have, we have created different European projects. We are participating right now in different European projects regarding this social economic model, together with other regions in Europe, such as Latvia, in Poland, or even in Italy, developing new models related to social economy to be implemented in our region based on our specific needs. And specifically also based on our main challenges. In our case, is the population, lack of opportunities, and creation of job opportunities for young generations. Right now, today, for instance, we have a specific seminar in our region. We are receiving as a host representatives from Latvia, Italian, and Poland, and we are sharing with them their best practices and our best practices also to be implemented in our region. And that's why we are decided to do the same with Chihuahua in the framework of this IURC program, because we really think that social economy could be the main solution for many of the problems that many of the regions here in Europe and also in Mexico have. And only if we have an approach, a direct approach from this vision, bottom-up vision, we will be able to face these problems. Here you can find a short image that show the current project already coordinated by the Regional Ministry of Economy and Finances here in Cantabria, together with all these regions in Europe that I mentioned before. And we are all, the main idea is demonstrating the role of regional authorities as key actors to develop this social economy. In this project, SELF, is called SELF, there are many participants representing the private public sector. We are all involved in this in the definition on new models to be implemented in this context. Many times when we are thinking about social economy, we think about companies related to social needs, and forget that we can also develop social economy from a more technological approach. That's why we are inviting other institutions and companies here in Cantabria to be part of these new initiatives. And the main idea, here, one of the main projects related to this social economy strategy is Hub Comillas. We are creating a specific model to be implemented in our region, integrated by representatives from the public and private sector. Here you will find University of Cantabria. You will also find Fundación Comillas, which is a specific foundation located here in our region that promotes the use of Spanish lessons and Spanish culture also, and you will find also representatives from the third sector. This Hub Comillas initiative will be supported and financed by using the Next Generation funds. And the main idea is to promote three main pillars. The first one is educational innovation. That means how to create new models of education based on artificial intelligence, how to promote new models of interaction between students and universities, and of course second and primary schools. The second pillar of this Hub Comillas project will be the transfer of knowledge, but in a new approach. I mean, traditional within that the RDI systems are focused on the transfer between the academia to the territory, and in this case we think that we need to change this approach, a bottom-up initiative. I mean, the needs of the territories will be heard by the academia in order to obtain some results. Okay, approach of this transfer of between our territory and the academia, represented here by the University of Cantabria. And the third pillar of this Yes.
Sorry, Paz, to interrupt. I think we have less than 1 minute to finish the presentation, please.
Okay, I will finish. Sorry. And the third pillar of this hub comillas is entrepreneurship, social entrepreneurship. As I mentioned before, how to resolve the problems of our territory in terms of how to create new business opportunities for our young generations, considering this new social economy approach. And well, our main objective in these pairing initiatives to promote mutual learning between both regions, Chihuahua and Cantabria, because we are sure that only transferring these opportunities will be able to share with other regions also in Europe and Latin America. And well, we are open to receive other best practices coming from other Latin American or European regions. I will stop right here. If you have further questions, I can answer later during the debate. Thank you, Edgardo.
No, thank you, Faz, for sharing the very interesting experience by Cantabria. I'll encourage the public, the people, the attendees to write some questions on the chat. Feel free, we'll try to address those questions before
Good
during the
afternoon
panel session.
to everybody.
And thank you, Monica.
I'm
Just
from
give me-
Silesia. My name is Monika Ptak, and I work for Regional Authority, Marshal Office of Śląskie Województwo. And our experience in with two regions of Brazil, Minas Gerais, and our new partner, Paraná. And today I'm going to present our on build around the can I ask for another slide?
Yes, please, Sandra.
Thank you. Main partners are located in our region. It's mostly the business support organization.
It seems we lost Monica for a second. Okay, while we wait for Monica to join us, I just wanted to highlight some of the points that Pius made during her presentation. I think it was very interesting to hear about the bottom-up approach that Cantabria is pursuing, this a bottom-up approach, working with regional companies in order to promote education and capacity building on the youth, considering this a very small, it's a small region, but also looking at working on new emerging sectors, and also how Chihuahua and the IRC program is helping them for knowledge transfer into these new sectors. So it was very interesting to hear the role of IRC and also this bottom-up approach working with regional companies. Welcome you back, Monica. I think you were disconnected.
Yes.
Please continue your presentation. Thank you.
Sorry for disturbing the presentation. I think it's some technical problems on my side. Back to the presentation. Before, I want to say that we focus mostly as a region of building the strong ecosystem. We represent the regional administration, and we mostly work with public universities, private universities, R&D institutions, business support organizations. And because of the which is south of Poland, with over 4 million people living here, and with a strong basis on R&D institution, it's nearly 30 located in our region, and nearly 500,000 of small and medium-sized and the big companies located here. We need to focus mostly of the cooperation with the strongest partners to build our ecosystem. So that's why we invent and create a new approach. The first in Poland. I don't know if we can compare to the other regions in Europe, for example, but our idea is to create a network of specialist observatories. Why specialist? Because it's connected to our technology development plan, which is focused on 8 areas of implementing technology. Can I ask for the next slide? The network was created in 2014, and it's free of charge. It's very important. It's publicly open to partners, but we focus on the cooperation with the strongest institution, which can gather the data and monitor the technological trends, measures, and analyze areas of specialization, and identifying what is very important, growth sectors of the economy. And that's why we can update our regional smart specialization pro-technological policy. The basis, as I said, it's located in the Technological Development Program, which is adopted in the new version in 2019. Marshall Office are the coordinator of this network, and we represent our partners. Till now, we have 14 institutions which cooperate with us. So it's very challenging to coordinate and work with many technological aspects. Can I ask for another slide? As you can see, the logos of the 7 of observatories, Energy Observatory, Medicine, ICT Observatory, Environmental Observatory, Nano Observatory, Materials Observatory, and Aviation Industry Observatory. So we work over 10 years with them, but now we cooperate with the new potential partners for playing a role of the observatory. It's Zamek Cieszyn. It's which is most experienced in the designing program for small and medium-sized enterprises. So we are going to create observatory for the design and creative industries. And another partner is a technological university, which is going to play the role of translog, as we called observatory for logistics and transport, public transport. So as you can see, it's a very different kind of sectors in economy, and then different kind of technological areas. So it's very challenging for us as a region to be on the point of the trends, and to talk with very experienced and branch institutions. Most of them are business support organization, which is very well connected to the business, and they support business, small and medium-sized enterprises with their developing and being more visible on the international markets. So it's very important for us to support business support organization to prepare them to serve the most well-prepared and professional business offer. For example, infrastructure, laboratories, or incubation programs. Can I ask for another slide? Technology Development Program is an operational and complementary document to the Regional Innovation Strategy of the Silesian Voivodeship. We adopt a new Regional Innovation Strategy in June of this year, and we are mostly focused on the digital transformation and the transformation of our region from the old-fashioned heavy industry to new innovative sectors, mostly connected with ICT technologies and technologies for the environment, because it's very important in our region, mostly connected to the heavy industry, to be in balance with environment. So we focus mostly on the green economy. And in this regional innovation strategy, we focus on building smart approach of the technology development program, and basic of the on the basis of the working with our partners from ops. Why they are very good connected to the programming approach on the regional level, because they gather the data and they influence on our policy. And then we can support business by providing a good quality of instruments, I mean financial and non-financial instruments, which is European money from at the same time from European development source, and so it's very important to combine two aspects of regional approach. Can I ask for another slide? During our working with business support organization and with other partners above network of specialized observatories, we work together to identify smart specialization for the next 10 years. And the most important for us is energetics, medicine, information and communication technologies, emerging industries, and green economy. Green economy is a great challenge for our strategy of development for Śląskie Województwo, but emerging industries is totally new approach, because it shows a space for the new technology which we actually didn't identify even in this process, which is going to occur during 10 years. So we are ready for the new businesses, new business models, and new companies. Can I ask for another slide? The good example of working with our partners, I mean ICT Observatory, which is responsible for monitoring and technological potential of IT technologies, is Technopark Gliwice. It's located it's about 20 kilometers of the Katowice, the main city in our region, and it's located close to the technological university. They mostly prepare young people for working for IT. So Technopark Gliwice is at the same time the digital hub, and they as well offer services for young people, mostly startups, which in the park. And of course they participate in, for example, startup meetings and startup services for startups. And of course Science and Technology Park work with us from over 10 years, and then gather the data about the IT companies, and it's in the reports every year on our website, our regional authority website, and of course on the website of Technopark Gliwice, which is recognized as the leader of IT sector. So that's why we combine the data gathered by the business into our policy and our monitoring system. Can I ask for another slide?
Yeah, we have about 2 minutes left.
Okay, so we combine two approaches. The one approach is the business approach, and another approach is our activity as a regional authority. We try to find new partners for our network. We participate in many international projects, as for example 40 Ready, which is a project in co-financed by the program of Interreg Europe. Project we look for some models for supporting SMEs and mostly the managers and the staff in the companies, how to support and finance the upgrading their skills and competences for zero industry. So that's why we involved our network to participate in our activities with international partners. And the next slide. And another our activity is preparing the educational system, mostly the vocational education in Silesian Voivodeship for business. The huge problem and the great challenge for us is preparing good teachers and teaching staff and instructors of practical vocational training. And we want to as well enhance, we want to upgrade the awareness of good education, vocational education for young people, because it's not recognized as challenging in Poland. So that's why we want to show that it's very important to have a great experience in practical aspects in companies. So that's a great challenges that and talk with young people. And then another slide. And the last sector in Silesia is Brasilesia, is the way of cooperation with our venture capital fund and the companies connected with Silesian University, together with Katowice Special Economic Zones, in cooperation with Brazilian partners from Minas Gerais region. They prepare a joint pilot acceleration program called Brasilesia, which aims to build a bridge between Brazilian innovation ecosystem. We are on the starting point, and we are going to meet again and look for young Polish startups and Brazilian startups to go into the Brazilian and Polish market. So that's a great challenge for us. So the participation in EU program helps us to enter to the new markets, have a new partners from the other countries, and to gain a new experience for our partners and to involve them in international cooperation. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, Monica, for sharing the experience of Silesia, especially in the public and private collaboration, and how you have been working with business supports of organizations and companies to collect data that could identify new trends in these new emerging industries, and therefore support the creation of public policies aimed or tailored to the needs of these sectors. Also, in the importance of the IREC supporting the Brasilesia program, and the importance of how to adapt the educational system or educational needs to the demand of the labor markets. So now we have about a little bit less than 20 minutes to field some questions from the chat. For the attendees, feel free to make any question to the panelists on the chat. If not, we also have some questions ready for.
We have a comment and a question for for Monica Tack from Slasky.
Please.
The comment is that the next World Urban Forum of 2022 that will take at the end of June is going to be in Katowice. I have been there as well in the carbonization events. It is a very interesting place close to a coal mine that has been recovered. So I send you an invitation to send, by the way, an invitation to everybody to go there because it's an interesting place of urban renovation. And the question for Ms. Tack is if Brasilesia is a result of the International Urban Cooperation Program done first. This is the question. So the invitation and the question.
Yes, firstly, I want to invite everybody to the Urban Forum in Katowice in June. We are, as well as the Marshall Office, the co-organizer of this event. And the beautiful place is called Quarter of the Culture in the city of Katowice. And there is an international congress place, the great place, and it's located on the post coal mine area. So it's very interesting place to visit and to see how it's was adopted and renewed for the new purpose. So I invite you. I think it's it's going to be very interesting conference. And back into the next questions about the Brasilesia. Brasilesia is the effect of the first phase of cooperation with Brazil. It's the effect of agreement between region Minas Gerais and the Katowice special economic zones. And then Brasilesia is the effect of this cooperation. We look for some more possibilities to cooperate above the projects, but in a real business environment. So we will see how it look like in 5th of December. Ambassador of Brazil is going to visit Katowice and meet with Marshall. So I think it's a good starting point to cooperation. The next phase of this cooperation, and we want to include as well partners from Paraná to this event. So I think it is going to be very successful.
It's by a coincidence. It's incredible the Slasky connection with Brazil, because Bielsko-Biała, which is in your region as well, have an agreement with inside of the International Urban Cooperation with Sao Paulo as well. So it's a strong cooperation, and all of them said good things.
Yes, I think it's because of our connection to the mine industry, and Minas Gerais is similar to that. And now with Paraná, we cooperate mostly. I think it's because of the huge potential about the immigrants from Poland living there after the Second War. So it's a great challenge as well for us to cooperate in another aspects and other topics.
Thank you. We have a question for Ms. Pat Nieto from Cantabria. So considering that Cantabria is a small region, what has been the big challenge of developing health, which is very competitive, and ICT? In that case, how has been followed the bottom-up approaches that you have presented us in order to identify the local strength and take profit of the specialization, the entrepreneurship, and the context of regional companies that you have in your territory?
our small region, but don't forget that we are surrounded by, for instance, big neighbors such as the Basque Country region, and they already have main sectors, strong sectors, and companies and technological centers. So we needed to find two specific sectors in order to, I mean, 2 or 3 in order to have or to create a specific ecosystem. And for us, one of them was the bioeconomic sector and bioeconomic and well-being sector. We have a main hospital, a university hospital here in Cantabria, well recognized at national level. And we also have technological centers specialized in the health sector. So it was the normal, I mean, answer or the normal path to be followed by us, because they already have experience, they already have projects working at European and international level, and we already have companies surrounding these main actors here in our region. So that's why for us was a normal answer to that, to develop this new economic model. And the other one was, manufacturing, of course, as I said before, in terms of GDP, the industrial sector represents 22%. And many of these companies are providers of the Basque Country manufacturing sector. So for us, it was also very the normal path to promote and to create and define and specific public policies to support to help these companies to be more positioned at European and international level. We also have a technological center of components that provides give support to these companies. And in terms of the implementation of this bottom-up strategy, for us was the natural answer to our needs. We needed to hear the needs of the territory, of young people and our local agencies, and that's why we have implemented this bottom-up strategy in collaboration with the General Directorate for Universities and General Directorate of Innovation. We have implemented this new strategy in order to adapt tailor-made strategy to these different territories that we already have in our region.
Thank you. Thank you. Valdecilla is well known, I think, everywhere.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paz. I have a question for Santiago. Santiago, I would like if you can share with us how important was the presence of an association, like in the case of Mar de Plata, ATICMA, which is an association of technology companies, acting as a liaison between the public sector, academia, and entrepreneurs. And if this can, you think if this can be replicated in other cities and regions, you can expand on that.
Yes, Elgado, I think it's absolutely relevant. Not only because this is an institution of businessmen and entrepreneurs, because it also includes the academic world. The 5 universities that are in Mar del Plata, they are inside of ATICMA, and is an institution that comprises the whole industry. It looks the general way and other particular aspects of that. That's why this mixed composition is so important. So if you can put every part of these areas in the same table and discuss what is important in the elaboration of a plan to make a city become a city of knowledge, you can replicate it everywhere. I think it's responsibility of the who is making the call. No, our mayor make the call, and everyone is on the table and discuss and make a plan. And now we are trying to carry out as soon as possible.
And thank you, Bonifati. Just as a follow-up, very quickly, what do you think about the regional specialist observatory that that Monica just presented? Can an experience of that, of having private companies or business association collecting data from a specific sector, can it be replicated or promoted in a city like Mar del Plata?
Yes, it's very interesting. I think the more important thing that I can hear of the presentation, that they are all working together, and they create a lot of observatories. We have in our city different observatories, maybe created by the universities or institutions that are in the third sector, but not by the government. So I think it's really interesting to look the experience and try to replicate it in cities like Mar del Plata. Yes.
Excellent. Thank you.
I would like to go with the observatories of Monica in Slasky, and I wonder what is the use for the companies, how the companies profit from them, because we saw that there are many different industries there and that somehow they are connected with the smart specialization, but I wonder how this network is providing a private-public partnership and how they are impacting in their companies.
Mostly, I think it's connected with the services offered by the observatories. I mean, in commercial sense, because they can focus on tailor-made services for them, like incubation for IT companies, or, for example, supporting them in international cooperation, or upscaling companies, or presenting new business models, because they know the market and get know more about the trends on international level. Sometimes business have no time to search for some data, and they can get it easily from the observatories. And the observatories, what is very important, have a good connection with the business, because they cooperate in many aspects. So it's our intermediaries from administration to business. Otherwise, the administration it's always look for business sometimes as a institutions which in a huge distance to their usual life needs. So intermediaries in this process, and moreover they mostly create the policy, because every strategy, innovation strategy, and development of technologies in our region is created together with our business and science partners. So that's why we can create support instruments, like financial support from European funds, close to the business needs, because we get more information from the business. And moreover, the observatories play a role of animator, for new projects, undertakings. Sometimes they participate in the project with the business and have a good connections to us. We are a managing authority of regional operational programs. So sometimes they bring project to us. We discuss with the business and with them the new projects which are going to be financed by the European funds.
Thank you, Ms. Tak. I have a question related to innovation in Cantabria. I know that you have recently prepared the smart specialization, and I wonder how you see from the regional government the benefits. We are discussing in the European territories the need to include the civil society, the need to make societal challenge in our policies, and I wonder how you see the topic of specialization in social innovation, and how you see the policies that you are developing and why you have selected
You
that.
You are right, Esteban. We are already finishing our innovation strategy, and the final draft will be prepared really soon. And we are working on the integration of this social economy approach in our structural funds right now. For instance, in our new Social European Fund, we are including a specific objective related to this topic. A short amount of this, short amount between 5 and 10% of this Social European Fund will be to support and finance different initiatives coming from the territory to integrate the social economy approach. Hub Comillas project will be also financed not only for this at the very beginning with these next generation funds, and later will be supported and financed by these social structural funds. And well, different options and projects will be supported with these structural funds coming from the local agencies and our regional development agencies. And the idea is to promote, social entrepreneurship in our between our young generations, to promote new ways or new business models in our regions. And the main objective is to avoid, to avoid the emigration of young generations to other regions or even to other countries. Is how to generate new business models in our territory, using our opportunities, and with the support of these experts coming from these hub comillas, no? And that's why we will consider in this social economy in our public policies and strategic documents also. It's more like a transversal concept, that will affect also digitalization, green economy, etc. Because, for instance, in our region, we are suffering now for the challenges that the transition to a low carbon economy. We need to implement new ways to, for instance, for the Besaya area, Besaya metropolitan area, which is one of the focus, one of the part of our region that need to face this new challenge to a low carbon economy. So we need to implement new ways to facilitate the population of this part of the region to make, easier this transfer to this low carbon transition economy. And for the definition of the structural funds, we have implemented different actions. For instance, with the support of DG Regio, we have financed the participation of civil society in the definition of these structural funds. It is the program financed with the support of DG Regio and also the support of OECD, and they give us different recommendations, the civil society, to be implemented in our region related to the different actions in terms of green economy and carbon transition, low carbon transition. And all these are initiatives that have been implemented during the last months in our region, the last 2 years also in Cantabria, and that's why we think that in considering all these elements, we can be considered as an innovative region, working with civil society in terms of how to transform our economic model.
Thank you for sharing that experience. I want to thank you, all the 3 panelists, for sharing with us their experience in promoting innovation ecosystems and new emerging sectors. As we saw during the presentation and the Q&A, this requires a comprehensive and multi-stakeholder approach with public and private collaboration, educational policies in place, the presence of high-quality research institutions, and most importantly, public support policies at the local and state level, from intervention ranging from improving the quality of public services at the city level, like we saw in the case of Mar del Plata, in trying to improve public administration, incorporating technology into their public policy, but also policies at the state level, like, for instance, efforts in promoting environmentally friendly technologies or educational reform at the regional or even national level. Now for the next segment, which should last about 15 minutes, we will use a survey called a slider using the instructions on your screen. We will use this in order to get to know each other a little bit more, and at the end we'll have the opportunity to interact between us by sharing some experiences in regional innovations among the participants. So for this segment, I will ask my colleague Sandra Marin to help us. Sandra, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Edgardo. Well, much easier than entering here in Slido. You can go if you are on your right side of your screen, you see session, and then you will see chat people Slido.
Mm-hmm.
You can enter in Slido, and then you should be there. Okay. Any of the two ways to get in there, it works. But probably maybe you have the interpreters in your phone, so you can go to Slido there because it's integrated. Perfect. So I want everyone who's in this room to participate, okay? No excuses. And you can make it up because we don't know. You can say you're connecting from New York. That has nothing to do with our program, but yeah, whatever. We want a nice cloud here. Right. I don't know if I can participate. I don't know. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Okay. Come on, let's go to the next one. This was just a warming up. Okay. Is everyone all right? Couple of seconds more. And we move to the second one. Okay, so what are the most excited about IURC next year?
I was afraid, Sandra, of including coffee breaks and beer, dinners and beers at the end.
No, but that's yeah.
That would have gotten the most votes, probably.
It's everything together. When we do the study visit, that involves yeah, the travel and the coffee breaks. Clusters. Well, this is surprising about working in thematic clusters, because that means that you will have the possibility to not only work with your pair, with your counterpart, but also with new contacts. I think during the event, the city of Malaga was writing that they are already working with Rome, Barranquilla, and Cali. All of them are working as a group in common topics. So
yeah, I think that's one of the advantages of this new phase of IRC is the possibility of cities and regions even working together. So we are really looking forward to foster and promote that kind of partnership and collaboration between cities outside their, not only in parents, but they're being able to work together with cities and regions.
Good. Thank you. Someone voted the working in thematic cluster. I think it's just to make me happy, right? Okay.
But we're all looking forward to
events didn't have a lot of success, but are those face-to-face networking events or because I don't know if Monica agrees, but the World Urban Faro in Katowice is going to be all is a networking event as well, not only a thematic. So
I think we're all excited to finally meet each other in person.
Yeah, whatever meeting it is a study tour, is a networking event. Okay, so let's go to the serious stuff. That was a warming up. Okay. So now Esteban, I would ask you to come into the
yeah
this
we are wondering on what is there. What are the main challenges for your territory, for your city and your region to promote innovation and to make to raise new economic sector? What do you consider that we need just a word, a concept like a city? So what you consider that could be that type of challenge? Maybe many of the regions are and we discussed that with Pat Dia, the thing of involving the civil society and bringing new ways of innovation. Others could be as simple of finance or to provide tailored advice services like Miss Tak said on Slasky. So to have a network of observatories or technology centers that are able to provide customized service to enterprises and not to go to very complex universities and very projects. So, but this is a suggestion from my side. I like very much what you are writing. Yes. So we see to adapt social inclusion. Try not well for those that don't understand English. I'm going to try to translate. Well, no, thank you. Generation of quality employment and well paid and possibility to bring better service to our neighbors, social inclusion, adapt, align with sustainable development goals. Yes, and digitalization was saying there. Yes, the main trends in Europe, as you know, for the economic recovery is the green growth, the Green Deal that we signed, and the lowering the CO2 emissions as part of the innovation and economic growth, and digitalization as an enabler. So I think it's like that. So everybody went for different approaches, but societal things matter, and this is as well our impression. We in the past we thought as well only in innovation as a part of industry and economic growth, and what we are seeing now in the most advanced region in the world, but as well in those that are lagging behind, that inclusiveness and the way to approach and to gather all the possible resources in a territory with this type of expand governance where societal inclusion and sustainable development goals and civil society brings a new ways of innovation. So we are not talking anymore about the factory manufacturing products, but as well other means of economic growth. And I think from our vision is challenging as a regional authorities because it's less known the path. So how to make innovation in these places. So this is all from my side. Sandra.
Yes, Sandra. I would like to ask the participants here, the attendees, to write in one sentence, one best practice or experience they would like to share from their city or region, and we'll try to give the floor to one city, one city or region, please. Okay, we'll wait only like 30 seconds more, please. For the person who wants to speak out, I will ask that person to send me a request about sharing audio and video. So I have to approve it so that person can actually talk to us and present their best practice or share with us. Okay, I think we can go with the first one. With you already kind of hear some experience from Cantabria and Silesia. The person from Fortaleza, if that person can send me a request to share their audio.
Know how to do that, Edgardo?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I just received one.
Okay.
Mariana Gomez from Fortaleza. Please, Mariana, the floor is yours. Share with us what Fortaleza has been doing in terms of waste management and innovation.
Hello, everyone. I'm Mariana Gomez from Fortaleza, Brazil. Fortaleza is part of the new phase of the cooperation, and we're very excited to be here. As many cities in the world, we live in a context that we spend a great amount of public money on waste collection, and yet we still face several issues related to waste management, such as accumulation of waste in critical areas of the city, urban disturbances, low recycling rates, impacts on health, and large social inequality. And we've been tackling this complex problem through a variety of integrated approaches, engaging different actors here in the city, not only at the public sector, but also the private sector and the civil society and the final users. And we created, for instance, some examples of the projects we've implemented. We created a network of eco points, which are installed very close to the irregular waste points. And we encourage the population to behave correctly by taking their recyclable waste in exchange to discounts on their energy bill or social money. And we have been working also with the waste collectors, both the construction waste collectors and the recyclable waste collectors. They are very marginalized groups here in Brazil, but they're very important for the circular economy chain. And with the construction waste collectors who would dispose the waste at these irregular waste points, we now pay them to take the waste to the eco points. And through a social money that can be used locally, we avoid that they take the collected waste to these irregular points, avoiding also other indirect problems. And with the recyclable waste collectors, we are implementing the Recycle project, which I think is one of the most innovative projects we have, in partnership with GIZ and CAF through the Transformative Urban Mobility Initiative. And we provide electric cargo tricycles to replace the human-drawn carts that they use at the collection. And with that, we address 3 public policies at the same time. We increase recycling, we bring better quality of life and give visibility to this group, and we also promote electric mobility. We also make use of regulation to hold large generators responsible for the waste they generate. And we are always looking for new ways to further encourage non-production, reuse, and recycling of waste. And we still have a long way to go, but we managed to create an environment of projects that, when working together with innovation and cooperation such as the Europe cooperation to exchange best practice and possible improvements, we believe we have a great potential to achieve better results and improve people's quality of life. Thank you.
No, thank you, Mariana, for sharing such an innovative policy by Fortaleza. I was wondering if there is a thought before we finish the Slido segment and then we wrap it up in this session. I was wondering if there is any question from our panelists or from the public to Mariana Gomez from Fortaleza to know a little bit more about their experience in the city, how they were able maybe to connect with the private sector to provide or to promote electric mobility in the city, the development of the app that is being used by the recyclers. Um, is there any question from someone of the panelists or from the public?
If I have, if I can ask one question, it was very interesting to me, innovative, and I was excited about the idea how you organized all this system. I want to know who is responsible for coordinating this and paying for these points. How you can manage with that?
Implemented the eco points with the municipality resources, but it is operated by the contract we have with the private sector for the waste collectors, for the waste collection in general. So before, we were spending a lot of money collecting waste at these irregular points that will also bring a lot of bad impact on the quality of the public realm. And by installing eco points, we save money from the collection, so we can use that resource to actually pay the waste collectors. So we are using resources that are already being spent, but only collecting the waste. And now we are introducing this group into the and into the collection chain.
Thank you. Thank you, Thank you, Mariana. I think we are running out of time. Before we finish, I would like to give the closing words and then invite you to participate to the networking and virtual expo they also have set up on the left of your screen. So first of all, I want to thank you again to all the panelists and participants to this parallel session. And as I pointed out at the beginning of the session, our goal today was to listen to the hands-on experience of one city and two regions in promoting innovation ecosystems and new emerging sectors. In addition, an important aspect of IRC is promoting collaboration and networking, not only between the pairings, but also through thematic clusters and cities and regions outside the network. In this sense, we are currently organizing thematic webinars, and we hope to begin organizing the Study Visa International events in person next year. Now, with a better idea of who are the cities and regions interested in innovation policies, we can tailor the content of these activities, the webinar, the study visits, the networking events, to the demands of from the different participants in the network. I will ask you to kindly keep in touch through through your program managers, team leaders, and follow us on social media, on our social media accounts, and through our website at IRC, and also IRC/Latin America. Before we close the session, I invite you to join to the networking session on the left panel of your screen. You'll see networking with says now. Where you will be able to connect with people from from the IRC network, but also the European Commission and the IRC program. We would also like to invite you to see the virtual exhibitions created by the different IRC geographical areas in order to know more about the different programs. Again, I want to thank for your time today, and we are looking forward to meeting you all in person very soon.
Go to the
Thank you.
networking session, please. It's going to be fun. It's just a minute and it's a speed networking, especially because this platform costed a lot of money to have that. So I want you guys to use it because it was the closest thing of meeting each other and being together. So come on, this is like,
More
¿cómo se dice?
informal.
Aleatorio. Es un engage aleatorio. Okay? See you there. 2 minutes and then you guys can go. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Sandra and Esteban. And thank you, Monica, Paz, and Santiago. Okay, see you in the networking session.
Thank you, everybody.
Gracias.
Yes.